Is that a new tea?
It is a new tea. Honest
organic
tea. Moroccan mint.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to shake it up? It looks like you got some goodness in the bottom there.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of residual junk down there.
Hey, everybody. Well, don't worry. We're starting early today, so stick around. We're going to get started right at the top of the hour, and I'm pumped.
Yes, so I'm pumped because we're talking about Facebook.
Which that always pumps you up.
It always pumps me up. And here, the reason why it always pumps me up is that over the years, Facebook has become our staple marketing tool. You know, when I look at all the different tools that we use, Facebook has gotten to the point where it's so consistent, it's so reliable, it's so effective when we use it correctly that I can't imagine using any other tool like the way we use Facebook.
Well,
and
I don't think there is another tool that you can use in the same manner and get the same results that you do with Facebook.
No, and when I look at how we're using it in our own real estate practice, where we see the biggest and best results is in two areas. Yeah. You know, the first one is in building our brand and reputation, right? So it really works to build our brand and reputation as real estate experts in the Austin area and getting recognized. You know, we tend to zero in on the higher end, and so we've really used it to focus on getting recognized as an expert status within the high-end market in Austin. The other thing that it has done for us really well, very effectively, with a consistent and predictable cost, is to generate leads for us. Now, here's what I know is that if you guys are joining us today, you've used Facebook, and many of you probably haven't gotten the best result from using it, but I'm going to share with you just through getting the arrows shot into our backs. And if I had a wallet here, I would be shelling out cash to show you just so much money that we've spent to make it work. But the fact is, we did figure out how to make it work. You know, we got help from, experts. We studied. We put dollars behind our own campaigns. For years, we've done this. And what has come about is a very simple yet effective way. And what we're going to share with everybody today are 5 specific campaigns that embody the process that we've developed. And, now I can look at you and say, Facebook works for us. It works really well. I'm going to show you campaigns that are going to achieve different objectives, everything from, getting yourself recognized in your marketplace as a real estate expert, all the way to generating actual leads, people saying, hey, I'm interested in learning more information. And hopefully by the end of today's conversation, and the actual examples that I'm going to show you today, that you will have a sense of, I can do this. I can implement the same campaign or campaigns, ideally all of them if you can, all 5 of them, and start seeing an improved result with your Facebook efforts. And with that, Gary, we're at the top of the hour, so we should probably get started.
Let's get
officially.
Started. Yes, so welcome to today's live training. We are going to crush it today for the next 60 minutes. In fact, Chris has been working diligently to really bring you the most updated, most relevant, and timely information about Facebook marketing for real estate. And so here's the format of what's going to happen today, just so you're not surprised, is for the next 60 minutes, Chris, our expert here, our in-house Facebook expert, is going to take us through, like he just said, everything Facebook for you. It's going to talk about building your reputation, generating leads, and actually becoming an expert. And then after that, we're going to do about 30, maybe 45 minutes of Q&A, but it all depends on you. So here's what we need from you. We need you to engage. We need you to ask a lot of questions. And the way you do that is the way you're already engaging with us by telling us where you're calling in from. So what you need to do is, as we go through this presentation, is as Chris just shares as much as he can, we need you to do 3 things. Number 1, we need you to focus. So, put away the cell phone, close the door, really put on headphones. Number 2, we need you to ask a lot of questions as they come up and do that in the chat section. And then number 3 is take notes. We want you to really walk away from this training today with some actionable items that you can just go and start implementing today. And with that, Chris,
let's get started. I am going to answer one of the most common questions that I already see popping up. People are always asking, hey, is this webinar, is this training being recorded? I'm just going to tell you right off the top, we do not email links out to our training, to our replay trainings, to anybody. So please stay tuned. If you're here, get everything you can out of it. And let's just go ahead and get
take
started.
A lot of notes.
Take a lot of notes, right? here's the thing. You know you're in the right place if, right? This is like one of those Jeff Foxworthy jokes where he says, you know you're a redneck. Okay, you know you're in the right place if you've ever said one of these three things to yourself, or you thought one of these three things to yourself. And do me a favor, go to the chat section and say 1, 2, or 3. You know, have you ever said to yourself, 1, why aren't people liking, commenting, and sharing my posts, even when I promote them? How many of you have had that experience? Just say 1, respond in the chat feature by typing the number 1 in there. Or perhaps you've experienced or thought to yourself, number 2, I'm spending all this time on Facebook, but no one reaches out to me to buy or sell their homes. How many of you experience or have thought number 2?
That was me before I met you.
Yeah, so, all of these are fairly common, sure. Right? And then the last one is I ran some ads on Facebook, but I didn't get any leads or clients from it. How many of you experienced number 3? Just tell me 1, 2, or 3, or maybe you're like, you know what? All of them, because I've experienced and thought to myself all 3 of these things throughout the course of my experience in using Facebook. But I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to tell you a little story. Let me take you all the way back to 2013.
Eons ago in Facebook
well,
time.
Literally, you're talking 6 years in digital technology. This was eons ago. But way back in 2013 is when I ran my first Facebook ad. It was the first time I logged into Facebook, and I saw on my business account that I had there, a little button appeared on one of my posts, and it said, Boost Post. Now, I don't know about you, Gary, but I saw that button, and so I clicked on it.
It looks so enticing. You're like, what do I do with this? I'm going to click on it.
This is 2013, right? And all of a sudden, Boost Post. I'm like, yes, that's me. Click. And you know what? I clicked on that bad boy.
What happened?
I spent $5. I spent $5.
And so what'd you do after that?
Well, you know me. I'm not necessarily.
You're persistent.
I'm very persistent. I hit that Boost Post button probably 20 times over the course of the day.
And what happened?
I was playing that thing like it was a lottery
slot
machine or something like that, right? I was like, Boost Post, Boost Post, Boost Post. Something's going to happen this time. Boost Post, Boost Post, Boost. And you know what happened? Nothing happened. I spent probably $100 over the course of the day, and nothing happened. And so at first I was like, yeah, Facebook doesn't work. How many of you guys have tried that Boost Post thing and it didn't work for you? Just go, yeah, I tried it. It don't work for me. And so I was like, this doesn't work. In fact, what I said to myself was, Facebook's crap. Why is this Boost Post thing even on here? It doesn't do anything. Well, after about a month, I noticed that it wasn't working for me, but I saw that it was working for other people.
So when you see it working for other people and it did, Kimberly just said, yep, I tried it and did nothing.
Right. So here's the thing. I saw it working for other people, and I said, you know what? Maybe I was doing it wrong. Maybe just hitting the button wasn't enough.
Right.
And so I embarked on a process of study and literally spent since that time, Gary, I've spent almost $800,000 using Facebook ads. You can see the screenshot there of the amount spent for my Facebook ad account from just one of our Facebook ad accounts. And this was several months ago. So, I think it's more in about $800,000. At any rate, I committed to study. I spent a ton of money of our money, figuring this out. And here's the thing. I wouldn't have spent all that money had it not worked.
Right. So it's not like you spent $100 and it didn't work and you just quit. Right. You learned and learned and learned.
I learned, and then I committed to it. And then what happened is over time, I figured out this does work. I can make it work. In fact, one of the things that ended up happening is over time, I built up a blueprint for myself on these are the things that I can do to make Facebook work for me.
Okay.
And so I pulled it up on my screen. I'm not going to spend too much time getting into the details of the blueprint, because what I've done is in the 5 campaigns that we're going to share with everybody today, each one of those campaigns are connected or a part of this blueprint. And so if you are using any one of these campaigns, in fact, if you do all 5 campaigns, you are effectively implementing this blueprint. Even if you do one of the campaigns and not all 5 of them, you're still going to create value within your real estate practice like you did for me. I didn't have all of these things figured out. I just figured one step along the way.
Yeah, because I think if you look at this, Chris, I would look at this and say, this looks a little complicated to me.
It is. Well, it is because the theory behind it is, I would say it's complicated, but the actual implementation of it is quite easy.
That's the key, is that that's where I wanted everybody to see, is that this is not as complex as that looks. And in fact, Chris, you have 3 goals for everybody today.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. Ultimately, I just want to show you these 5 simple Facebook campaigns that are going to do these 3 things. 1, They're going to create audience of people who are in the market, right? Not just looky-loos, not just anybody, but people who are in the market. It's also going to help you connect with people so they know, like, and trust you, which, Gary, as you know,
that's the number one reason people are going to hire you, is that they know, like, and most importantly, trust you. But they're not going to trust you until they know and like you. Right. And these 5 campaigns help build that.
They do that. They build, ultimately, these 5 campaigns, they build trust. They build confidence in our competence as real estate professionals.
Confidence in our competence.
Right. And so the last thing it's going to do, these 5 campaigns, is they're going to help you engage new and past contacts, not just clients, but past contacts as well as new contacts. All of these things are necessary for us to be successful on Facebook. So I've got these 5 campaigns, and then we're going to go into each one of these 5 campaigns in great detail today, because my hope is that you're going to look at these and you're going to pick one and start with one. You'll be like, I really like that one. Looks pretty easy. I think I can do it. I'm going to start there. And my hope is that over time you're going to implement all 5. But like I said, I only figured these things out one step at a time.
Right, because it's kind of like building a house. You don't just go in there and try and throw everything up all at once. You want to set the foundation.
The only difference was I didn't know exactly what I was building. When I was going through the process of discovery, which is why it took me a little bit more time, a little bit more money, and I'm going to share with you to save you that time and save you that money, is that I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing. But as soon as I found something working, I was like, oh, this works. I'm going to keep doing this.
Right.
And then the next thing that happened is, oh, this is working. Oh, I'm going to keep doing this. And eventually these 5 different campaigns evolved. One of the biggest things to remember, and if you tried using Facebook, and one of the things for you to remember right now before we get into this first campaign is that you have to build an audience. Not everybody on Facebook is your audience. You have to create and build an audience, but that doesn't mean you just go find random people.
No, because one thing that you've said, Chris, over and over again is if you market to everybody, you're marketing to no one.
Right.
So how do we build an audience?
So one of the easiest ways that I'm currently using Facebook to build an audience is what I refer to as a 30-second video clip, right? So it's an advertisement. It's an actual Facebook ad that features a video of some real estate, okay? And I'm going to here's the example of what the ad looks like. Just so you can have a real world working example, I have a short video clip that I'm going to share with you. So when people click on the button, here's what this video looks like for this particular ad. So remember, we're taking this video and you're going to find that I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a video like this, right? Literally, you can do that for free. There's a free app that you can use to do this. So it's not like, and heck, there's even a way to do it in Facebook, but I'm going to show you a pretty cool app that you can use your phone for making a video like this. But here's what it looks like. It's just, like I said, I think this actual video might be about 40 seconds. So I'm going to play most of it so you can get a sense of what it looks like.
Okay.
Hey, we're back, Gary. So check it out. That was actually a 40-second video clip. And what I did is I put that into Facebook. Now what I need to do is I need to pull my slide deck up because I got to show you some of the details of how and why this works. So remember, the first step of what we're doing in Facebook, it's not, we're not just trying to, with this particular video, we're not trying to just like put this out there and hope people do stuff. The only purpose for this video is to accomplish a video view, right? So the only thing we're trying to do with this video is to get people to watch some of this video.
Okay, so why is that? Because I think most people in real estate, they're like, okay, I'm doing these videos, but I'm not getting leads.
Right. So here's the thing. With this particular video, all we're doing is we're trying to get people to watch the video. Why do we want to get people to watch the video? Here's why we want people to watch the video, Gary. It's because Facebook keeps track of who's been watching the video.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook keeps track of who's been watching the video, and it also allows us to create follow-up advertisements to that audience of people who have watched the video. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Who the heck was watching a video of real estate?
People interested in buying or selling real estate. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
So what we do is we create videos of real estate to identify people who are in the market for real estate, okay? Now this audience, now what you see is I've got, there's been 492 people who have watched this video for 3 seconds, okay? But I've got a ton of these videos all streamed together, and what that does is each one of these videos is creating an audience of people, right, who've watched it. And so now there's 20,000 people who've watched video. 20,000 people who've watched video.
That's where you're talking about building that audience, because all of a sudden you have 20,000 people who are interested in what we have to say.
Right. Now, but that's only the first step. Remember I said the first thing we got to do is we got to build an audience. And this is what we're doing, is to find who out there on Facebook who's not even connected to us. We're using the Facebook ad platform here to promote this video and achieve video views. That's an objective. It's a result we're getting, because when we achieve a video view, Facebook keeps track of that person and allows me to send future advertisements to them. So we're building the audience, and then what we're going to do in the next phase is we have to actually cultivate that audience. But I promised you I was going to show you how you can make a video like that. A recommended tool that I have for you guys is Adobe Spark. It's so easy to use Adobe Spark. I've got actually a short video I'm going to share with you guys so you can see, that's how easy it is. So let me just show you this Adobe Spark demo video.
It's easy for you to
In less than a minute, you'll see how easy it is to make a video like the one that I just shared with you guys.
To use Spark Video, all you have to do is open up the app. And once it gets loaded, you can see I've got this existing listing here, and you can scroll through pretty quickly to see all the different images I've already loaded. So you can edit it pretty easily. Just go in and tap on the text. I'm just going to put in here, "It's beautiful." Click on done. So that's how easy it is to edit. But let's say you wanted to add a new photo altogether. To add a photo or to add an additional image to it, just click on the plus sign. Click on the plus sign again, go to photo, click on Google Drive. Let's see, I've got some listings right here. I actually have that Calabria. Tap on it, click on done, and then you can see that it adds the image. I can click on the plus sign again to add some text to it. Contact us for details. And that's it. That's how easy it is to add and create a video using images in Adobe Spark.
And we're back, Gary.
Chris, I've got a lot of questions here. Everybody wants clarification on the name of that app, and here it is. It is Adobe Spark, and you said this is free.
Oh, it's free, yeah.
Oh, that's a great price.
Yeah, as long as you've got the photos, which you do if it's your listing and you've paid for the photography, or you've gotten and acquired them yourself. So then all you got to do is take those photos, drop them into this free app. There's 2 versions of Adobe Spark. There's Adobe Spark Post, and then there's Adobe Spark Video. If you're going to use your phone, get Adobe Spark Video if you want to be able to build these types of videos, which leads us to the next type of campaign, right? So the first, by the way, guys, can you see how easy that was?
Well, Mary just said, I'm going to try that.
Right. So remember, what we were doing there with that video is we are building an audience of people who are interested in real estate.
Now, Chris, I did have a huge question. A lot of people were asking, how long did it take to build the audience of 20,000 people?
That probably took about a month or so.
But
that's because I had a lot, as quickly as I could, I started marketing real estate. Our real estate listings, recently sold listings, any of our real estate that we have to market, I'm using that to build an audience, and I'm using those videos. I've tried doing audience building without doing video. Video is just, for whatever reason, it's effective as an audience building tool. But here's a byproduct of it, though.
What's that?
Everybody is seeing us market real estate.
Which, hello, that's one of the points there, is we're
building brand.
Building that brand awareness.
We're building our reputation. We're building our brand. And so that's a byproduct of building an audience. Now, it leads us to the next campaign.
Real quick, Chris. What if I don't have any current active listings?
If you don't have any listings, well, Gary, couple of things you do. Recently sold, which is somewhat subjective. And then you can always work with your broker to be able to work your figure out.
You can go to your broker or other agents and say, hey, I'd like to go ahead and promote that. Now,
just get permission. Just get permission.
Yeah.
So this next one is what I refer to as a lazy listing tour. I've got 2 different versions of this. Same thing. What we're going to use now is we're going to use a video. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to nurture that audience.
Okay.
So this campaign is going to not just go to anybody and everybody, it's going to the 20,000 people.
So we've built that audience. Now we're retargeting them because we already know they're interested in real estate.
What we want to do is, the process of knowing, liking, and trusting, that requires not just seeing us once, but actually getting into seeing us as individuals so they can know, like, and trust us, right? So we've identified them as an audience, but now we want them to know us and like us. And this is where we start to put a bit of our personality in. Yeah. I'm going to give you 2 relatively easy ways to do this that you can either just use your phone or your laptop. And I'm going to show you the video. Again, this is an ad. I uploaded the video to Facebook and I created an ad in Facebook ads, and I selected the audience of people who had watched video with us previously, that 20,000, okay? So let me just show you. I'm not going to, this one's a 2-minute video, so I'm not going to share the whole thing, but I am going to give you just a sense of what this is, because Gary, I asked you to go get some video one day, and I thought you was going to go get some quality video.
He was expecting me to meet with our professional videographer, Jarrett, who is, by the way, here in the studio with us right now. And I honestly, Chris, I forgot to call Jarrett and say, hey, would you meet me out there?
Yeah, so he literally just pulls his phone out.
My phone and my earbuds, because that's all I had at the time. And anyway, this
was the result, which at first I was like, are you kidding me, Gary? But I'm going to tell you how sometimes a bad thing can lead to a good thing here.
Right.
Let me just play just a portion of this video.
Hey there, this is Gary Kreth with Kreth Partners Real Estate here at Sotheby's International Realty. And we're taking a look at this house behind me. This is a beautiful home in Clarksville, which is an urban core neighborhood in Austin, Texas. This house right here was added onto and remodeled, $1.5 million. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about is the home next door that is coming on the market shortly. This home is an incredible opportunity to be able to do that with this. And instead of paying $1.5 million and giving somebody else the equity, this is your opportunity to be able to take an $825,000 home in Austin, Texas, downtown core, and turn it into the home of your dreams by simply investing about $500,000 and the opportunity of walking away with over $200,000 of built-in equity after the remodel.
And we're back, Gary, and so you can see it's just a walking tour, literally walking and talking, like show and tell. Now, at first, I'll be honest, I wasn't going to use it, but I didn't have anything else to use.
Well, I sent him the video, and I didn't hear anything back from him, and I thought, well, maybe he's happy with it.
Yeah, sometimes when I say nothing, it's not a good thing. Right? But here's the thing. I was very pleasantly surprised as to what happened. So I ended up promoting this particular ad. And I don't know if it was because of the way the sun was shining on your hair that day, but whatever the case may be, this video performed extremely well.
So when you say extremely well, what does that mean?
So what that means is it got like the engagement of people who were watching it, watched like a lot of the video. People were like responding to this. People were clicking on it. People were asking for more information on it. And so what that tells me is like, wow, that's the type of video that is going to allow people to know, like, and trust us. Now, remember, I wasn't just sending that to everybody. I was sending that to the people.
That 20,000 people who have already said. Yeah. Now, I do want to share with everybody that Chris is not one to be upstaged by me. So what he did is he said, wow, if that was Gary's lazy listing video, he can outdo me by making it even lazier.
In all honesty, here's what happened is I was looking for creative ways to market this particular listing I'm going to show you guys. Because it was, it was a big one for us. It was it's like a $5 million listing, and So I was looking for creative ways to do this. And I had done a lot at the home. We had gotten professional video done. We had done some short videos there. So I was looking for just another way to talk about this listing. And what I came across was a way to do this without even leaving the comfort of my own home.
Right.
So what I did is I used this tool called Soapbox, right? It's a free tool from a company called Wistia. And what Soapbox allows you to do is to be able to record your computer's video camera and the screen that you have on your computer simultaneously. So you click on it, it pulls up a window, it starts recording like your face, so you can start talking to it, and then it also records what's on your screen.
Right.
And so what I did is I gave a talking tour. I just pulled up our listing here, right? And by the way, you don't do this for listings that are not yours. Don't do this for listings where you don't have the rights to use the photography. You must have the rights for the photography, and you must use your own listing. Otherwise, you've got to get permission. But I need to clarify that because I had shared this in a blog post recently, and people said, "Hell, that's not ethical. You can't do that." And I said, "What's wrong with marketing my own listing with the photography that we own and have the rights to?" So I know I think there was a bit of confusion, which is why I wanted to take the time to clarify that. And so what it does is it produces this video of us talking, of me talking, and I can scroll through the web page of our web page and show people what this real estate looks like.
Well, I love this because what you're doing, Chris, is you're showing people what it's like to work with you without them actually working with you yet.
So the final product of what this looks like, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play a portion of what this video looks like. Now, this is a demo that I shot for you guys really quickly, so it's not the one that I used, but let me just show you what this kind of looks like, okay?
Hey, Chris here at Kreth Partners, and I wanted to share with you guys this really awesome listing we have on the marketplace. It's in this heavily wooded, gorgeous area, totally private, totally secluded. One of the first things you're going to see when you walk into this home is the magnificent kitchen with this artistry throughout the entire house. Let me give you just one example. Throughout the home, there are these really heavy wooden beams, and those beams are from the original Chicago Stock Exchange. And
we're back here. You can see it's just talking about the real estate, but it's just a different mode. It's a different view, right? Allows us to put a different emphasis on that real estate and be able to share. Here's the thing. I was able to talk about that listing because I've been there.
Sure.
Right. I've been there. I know what it's like. I've toured it. I can speak to what I felt like are the highlights of the home based on having been there in the real world experience.
And how powerful is that to be able to show people the highlights instead of just sharing all of the photos or a video with them of the home where they don't know what the highlights are?
Right.
You're educating them about that home. So that's really a powerful way to do that.
So when you look at the process that we've done, right? So that was the first two Facebook campaigns. In that case, we were using video, right? The first one was that short 30-second video, and that was designed to build an audience. The Lazy Listing Tours is designed to cultivate that audience, right? It's to build that audience so that they start to know, like, and trust us. And they're being introduced to us as individuals at that point.
They're seeing our face, they're seeing they're hearing our voice, getting the personality.
You cannot discount the value of having somebody, a consumer, somebody that knows you, a past contact, or even a past client for that matter, or someone who's been referred to you. You can't discount the value of having them see you in the action on video doing what you do, right? Yep. So in this case, it's talking about real estate, showcasing a listing, showing a home, right? It's like you're showing a home, and what you're doing is people are seeing you in the action of marketing real estate and doing real estate, right? So you're real estating in a sense, right? And how else would they see you in action? Because they don't know you yet. They don't like you yet, but now they get to see you in action. And that's the beginnings of building trust, which really leads us to the next step, which is what I refer to as listing carousel ads. This one, we're not going to use video. Instead, we're going to use another one of our listings or our recently sold campaign. The goal here, right, is pretty simple. Again, we're marketing to the people who've watched video previously. But what we're trying to do is qualify that audience by getting people to go beyond just watching a video, but to actually click and express their interest.
So we've got this funnel that you've created. We build the audience, and now we're starting to qualify them to see who's interested in doing this now.
Now, a byproduct of this particular campaign is, yes, we get to qualify them, but it also shows them hey, these guys are serious about selling real estate,
Right.
right? When they see us regularly and consistently in the mode of marketing listings and marketing real estate, we are seen as experts.
Which hits on that top level qualification of trust, right?
Right.
We're trying to build trust with them, and the more we can show them our expertise through doing these things.
Hey, for anyone here who wants to get recognized as like a listing expert agent in your market, one of the main things that you have to do is be seen as a listing expert. How do you be seen as a listing expert? By listing, right? By people seeing you listing and selling real estate. The evidence is in the action. And I think that's one of the things that we oftentimes forget because we're so close to what we do. We forget that, hey, if we want to get known as being somebody who has listings and someone who sells listings, is what we've got to do is market listings.
Right.
And, we can do, and the way the campaign is structured is there's just an ad in Facebook, and I use a carousel ad or a multi-image ad. So you're going to see there's multiple photos in a
What does Facebook call that? Do they call it both things?
It has been referred to as both things. I think when you go into Facebook ads to create the ad, it's called multi-image.
Okay.
But throughout Facebook, I know it's referred to as multi-image. It's also referred to as carousel. They've called it both things. But it's pretty simple. All it is a series of photos in a single ad. And when they click on the ad, right, when they click on it, it takes them to a landing page on our website featuring that listing, okay? Now, there's something that happens. Anyone who visits our website, Facebook keeps track of, right? So Facebook remembers everybody who's clicked on this ad, visited our website, because what did I say we're going to do? We're going to qualify the audience. And so now I can actually reserve this second audience here, people who they've watched video and they've been to our website.
All of a sudden you're like, ooh, this might actually become a prospect here.
So now this is furthering that process of building that trust, but at the same time cultivating that audience. And so here's an example of what a real ad looks like. So this is from one of our listings that we had on the market, and it's it's pretty straightforward. We're just showing the information, and we're teasing that information. So we take professional video, professional photos. We take a little highlight, like in this case, you see $1.829 million, Westlake area of Austin. You can see one of the things that I do is I tease the call to action, so it leads to see more photos and info to click here, and then they can just go through and they're getting a teaser or a preview of what's going to be on the page. And constantly we're making promises here. See more photos and click. Get address and directions by clicking on the Learn More button.
So what you're doing is you're teasing them in. It doesn't matter. You're trying to find out what is going to cause them to click, because different people have different reasons to do that. And you've got all these different call to action.
So you can see right here, I'm constantly teasing. Get more address and directions. Click here. Okay. Let me get out of there. And so that's what the ad looks like. It's pretty straightforward. It's not, again, as long as you've got the professional photography to work with and you've got some nice things to say about the real estate.
By the way, number one is if it's your listing, it better be professional photography. And number two, if it's your listing, you better have some nice things to say about it.
And so with all of these campaigns, and there's never a time where I'm breaking the bank. So, when I go back to the video campaigns that I was sharing with everybody, we're talking about like $1 a day. You can start with as little as $1 a day.
That is not breaking the bank.
That is not. Now you might go $2 a day. You want to go crazy on it. But when you're audience building, you don't want to spend a lot of money, right? Because that's all you're doing is you're just trying to establish the audience. Well, as you go down the process of qualifying, nurturing, building trust, you spend a little bit more. So in this case, to reach 500 people out of the 20,000, it cost me $30, right?
I can't tell you, there is no more affordable way to effectively build that audience and start qualifying them. There just isn't.
Now, we already addressed this question. I had put it in here. Hey, what do I do if I don't do listings? Remember, use recently sold. You can even do an open house that you have permission to market, right?
Use somebody else's open house if you have no listings. Absolutely.
The key is get permission. And if you're broke, if you don't have the past real estate to work with to do this, get with your broker because they should want to help you, right? And if they don't want to help you, then that's a different conversation, which really leads us to the fourth campaign out of all of these. This is probably my favorite. And the reason why, well, it goes back to getting recognized as experts in our marketplace, right? So how do you get recognized as an expert? You share your expertise. I mean, I know that sounds like obvious, but I don't think I made that initial connection with our own marketing is like, oh yeah, we want to get recognized. We want to, we want to sell, more high-end real estate. We want to be known as experts in this space. We want people to know us as listing experts.
Yeah, but the question always comes up, but how do I do that? And by having these expert positioning videos, you are basically showing everybody and sharing your expertise. Man, you want to talk about building trust quickly.
So that's what it does. By sharing our expertise, what happens is that we share our expertise so people see us in that action of being an expert. So by sharing, when you share what you know, you're being an expert. Now, this particular strategy, and actually all of these, they rely on this concept of remarketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so remarketing, so when we said, hey, go build an audience of people who are, watch video, and then send additional advertisements, whether it's additional video or to be able to market listings to them, or in this case, we're going to show them expert videos. What that's called in marketing speak is remarketing. And all it is showing a specific message to an audience that has already engaged with your marketing. And so this is what we're going to do, is we're going to produce this. In this case, I've chosen to use video. And remember, Gary and I are big advocates of video, because in real estate, people choose us based on who they know, like, and trust. And these days, it's gotten so much easier because so many of these videos you can literally just use your phone for, right? I mean, that's amazing that, 10 years ago, it would have been very expensive to do videos like this.
Not just that, Chris. How else, without using video and Facebook like this, how else could I get in front of that many people and actually communicate with them almost face to face?
So what Gary did here is he actually did just a Facebook Live, and what he did was he talked about, what's going on in the market.
Yeah, okay. So the number one thing that we love to share is what people want to know from us, what buyers and sellers are interested in. And I'll tell you this, the number one thing they want to learn from you is what's going on in the market and what does that mean to me. So Chris said, hey, Gary, shoot a quick Facebook Live video and talk about the market. And so I did. I gave just 2 stats. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, by the way, if you are interested in learning about your specific situation in your specific home, all you need to do is message me and I'm happy to help.
So one of the things that happens is if you do this correctly, right, here's what happens. Now, I went a step further. I took that video and then I created an ad for that video. Now, I created an ad for this video and I put it in front of the people who watched our previous videos, our real estate videos.
That funnel.
Right? I've put it in front of anyone who's visited our website, right? Mm-hmm. So they saw a listing that we were marketing, clicked on it, visited our website. I also uploaded our database, from our contacts, from our CRM.
That's so important.
Our database to Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you how we do that in a minute. But I uploaded our database so that all these people, highly qualified individuals, they're seeing us share expertise. Now, why do I do it for all those individuals? The reason why I want, first off, the people who've been watching our videos who are in the market, I want them to see us as experts. So that's check, right?
Yep.
The people who've been visiting our website because they're interested in buying or selling real estate, check. I want them to I want to be pervasive. I want us to be omnipresent in front of them, showing up everywhere all the time. And the other thing is I want everyone who's in our database, it's everyone in our sphere of influence that I've uploaded, I want them to see us because they are the ones who are going to build that word of mouth marketing engine in this whole sphere of influence.
Yeah, anytime we're sharing this, we always want to share that with our database because that's continuing to build trust, but also to remind them that we're in real estate because so often, previous to this, Chris, I was having to send out newsletters, like print newsletters. I was having to call everybody in my database every single quarter. And man, that's exhausting. But what you did is you took that away and said, no, we got this.
So here's what happens. This particular this video now, because I put it into Facebook ads, there was 800 some people who it reached it. Over 700 people watched the video, video. Over 85 people clicked on it to get more information, right? I mean, that's the kind of result. Now, here's the thing. I did not break the bank. I only spent less than $3 to get those results. 85 people, requesting more information, clicking on it to get more information. Another 700 people who've watched this video, spending $3. Why is that? It's because I had built an audience and we're building trust along the way, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't just do a campaign like this without doing the other steps that I talked about.
Man, now, you want to talk about building trust and really targeting that audience. I mean, you're getting that funnel down really tight. Now you know who's really interested.
I mean, I'll be honest. We could probably stop there. Like if you were to do those first 4 campaigns and you would do them consistently for a couple of months, you're going to see that your word of mouth is going to go through the roof. And, I think for us, we started doing this process for ourselves. We reinstituted this process for ourselves back in August of last year. Mm-hmm. And within, several short months, it got to where we increased our production, our pipeline.
Our pipeline increased by over $10.5 million in production.
By just doing this stuff consistently, right? And so a lot of people, I'm sure, have asked. I haven't had a chance to interact.
We have a lot
of
questions.
But one of the things people might say is, well, how do you upload that database? Or how do you tell Facebook to show this video? So when you go into Facebook ads, there's this tool called custom audiences. And from within custom audiences, you can, let me just pull up my little whiteboard tool here for you guys so you can see. Within custom audiences, you can upload a customer file, right? I can tell Facebook that I want to put an ad in front of the people who visited our website. I can even down here where it says engagement, that's where I can tell Facebook to create an advertisement of people who've watched videos, or
so
even
people who have engaged in any of
whether
your ads.
It's videos or even just our Facebook pages or our Instagram accounts. I can tell Facebook to create ads and audiences of those people. And so what happens after I've done that, what it looks like is, here's all the people. When I took this screenshot of people who watched a 3-second video of viewing listings, right? There was 8,900 people there. Here's all the people who had visited our website, 4,800 people there. Here's all the people in Gary's database. It doesn't tell you how many people are in because there's less than 1,000 folks in there, but that audience is ready to market to. And so all of these are audiences because I've used this custom audience feature to upload them, and they're good to go. And one of the things, and like I said, if all you did were those first handful of campaigns, you would be good. I think one of the ways that you can really amplify the effectiveness of those first 4 campaigns
is by calling everybody in your database?
No.
Okay.
Nobody wants to do that anymore. Come on now, Gary.
We use technology. Come on.
We use technology. Let's do some phone call free lead generation.
That's right. What did you say that again?
Phone call free lead gen. So one of the things that I like to have Gary do is after, we're running these campaigns constantly. Yep. And so now what he can do is just go through, everybody who he's connected to on Facebook, and we'll just drop them a little message to check in, right?
Yeah.
So here's what happens. Explain to everybody.
Well, Chris was asking me, when was the last time you called everybody on our list? And I was like, man, I don't have time for that anymore. And he's like, dude, we got to stay in touch with these people. Try this. And so what I did is I just wrote this simple message. I said, hey, we haven't spoken in a while, and I wanted to check in and see how things are doing, or how things are going. By the way, you can copy and paste this and just copy and paste for all the people on Facebook.
Yeah, you can just use, if you use the desktop version of Facebook Messenger, you can just go in there and copy and paste.
Yeah, and you know what?
This was, by the way, this is like a real screenshot. I had to mark all the guy's name.
You don't want to know my client's name.
Not me. But I graded out there. But this is a real exchange that you guys had.
This is a real exchange. And he responded the next day, and he said, hey, I was just thinking about you. How's everything going? We're doing well. And I said, hey, we're actually selling our house and making a move. With scarcity of listings, we're getting a premium price on our home. By the way, have you thought of doing the same and moving closer to town?
Oh, you just jump right in there,
Just jump in there and look at this long response. He's like, hey, man, thanks for that. We're actually not interested in moving right now, but when we make a move, you're the guy we're gonna hire to sell it. And then what you don't see is I followed up asking him for referrals.
So that's what we're doing in this case, is just going a little up, an extra step further to do individual follow-up, right? And so that really makes these first 4 campaigns expand in terms of the effect.
It solidifies that, right?
And here's the thing. If you consistently do this, anyone who's been thinking of real estate, they're going to be like, oh, I've been meaning to reach out to you, Gary. I've been meaning to contact you. So that is the first 4 campaigns. Now, I wouldn't be doing Facebook justice, and I know I'd be letting a lot of you guys down if I didn't get into probably one of the most effective ways of getting new leads, new contact information from Facebook, using this tool that Facebook has called Facebook Lead Ads. Yep. So for those of you who are like, okay, I love all this stuff that you guys have been doing, but how do I get, how do I get more new people in the fold? Well, that's why we had that whole audience building process, that whole trust building, knowing, liking, trusting process taking place. So I've built that audience of all those people who are looking at real estate. We've followed up by putting additional videos and content and information to them, right? Whether it be doing the lazy listing tours, whether it's sharing our expertise and just sharing our tips. Now what I can do is all those people who've engaged with us that we don't have the contact information for, I can use Facebook lead ads to make an offer for them to be able to be invited to get more information and actually work with us.
So all of that contact information Facebook has. We don't have it yet.
We don't have it yet. So if we want to get it, we got to go to the next step. Now, a lot of you may have tried using some way on Facebook to get contact information from people. Now, one of the biggest mistakes people make, and I've addressed this throughout today's entire training, is you can't just go to anybody and ask for their contact information. That is why the trust building process of what we've talked about today is so important. So now that they know, like, and trust you, now if you make an offer that requires them to give you their contact information, they're a lot more likely to do it. Here's the other thing. The thing to remember is that 80% of Facebook traffic happens on a mobile device, right? So it happens on their phone, which means you need to use a format of Facebook ads that's going to be consistent with this fact that most people are looking at your ad on the phone. If you're creating something that doesn't look ideal for the phone, they're just not going to see it. In fact, one of the things that happens is if you're not creating ads and you're not creating an experience that is all within Facebook, if you're taking people away from Facebook, so let's say they see an ad like this, right? It says, hey, I've compiled a list of off-market homes over $1 million in some of the most exclusive areas of Austin. By the way we do this is we're part of the Austin Luxury Network, so we can compile this list and make an offer. But when people click on download, normally it would take people to another web page.
Right, so you're redirecting somewhere else.
Yeah, so about 60% of that traffic ends up getting lost.
Oh, we don't want that.
No, because they lose Facebook. That's why Facebook created the Facebook lead ad. And what this is, it's an instant experience, meaning when they click on the download button, instantly it pops up a lead form. Instantly it pre-populates the contact information.
So it's just making it stupid simple.
It's just making
it it's instant.
And it's instant. And that's one of the things that you're trying to do, is that you're trying to remove all the friction of taking advantage of that offer, right? So what would some of that friction be? Well, if you're taking them to a website and not staying in Facebook, the friction is the time that it takes.
How long does it normally take?
6 to 8 seconds, right?
6 to 8 seconds, you lose them.
Yes, it's just too long. The other point of friction is they normally have to give you type in contact information. It pre-populates it. Again, reducing the friction. And so that's what makes this more of an effective ad. And that's why Facebook made this particular campaign objective, calling it a Facebook lead ad. So they go from Facebook ad, in this case, they click on download, it pops up a little form. In that lead form, it makes, kind of just confirms their contact information that they want to put in there. And when they click on submit, it brings up a thank you page, and all like you said, within Facebook.
And they don't have to populate anything. I mean, you could literally do this driving at 80 miles an hour down the interstate. Don't do this, but I mean, it makes it that simple.
Now, one of the biggest, I don't want to call it a mistake. It's probably like one of the biggest learning curves, or one of the mistakes that we noobs, when we first started doing this, make, is that we don't put enough time and energy into the offer itself. And what do I mean by that? So the thing that's being offered in your ad.
I see. So you want to offer something very, very valuable to them.
Yeah. So if you can't, just because you've built this audience with people, if you offer crap, you're going to get a crappy response, right? So, and what do I mean by crap? Well, if it's something that they don't want, then it's something that they don't want. And I don't care if somebody else is offering it; it may not be what your people want. And I had to learn this. I'm always having to relearn this, because we're really good at. We have a price point which we're really good at, but we're constantly trying to push our price point higher and higher. And what I found is, people who buy $300,000 homes, right? It's different people who buy $1 million home don't accept the same offers of the things that we do.
No.
That a $300,000 home
because they have a completely different set of concerns.
Right. And a lot of times, if it's the difference between a first-time home buyer, right, versus someone who's bought real estate before, right?
So you really need to put a lot of thought into what you're offering that specific audience.
Now, I am going to share with you a type of campaign that's been working pretty well across the board. And I actually got this from some of our clients who are in. We have a membership, and we have a club, and people are always exchanging information and sharing information. And this is where I go to get my ideas. And so one of our members said, hey, this is what's working for me. I had 2 members actually do this, Tawny and then Travis. And here's the type of ad they found working is offering lists of homes, but very specific, almost like curated lists of homes. So, here in the example, and the devil is in the details. You see every word here has been crafted meticulously.
Carefully crafted.
Carefully, right? Even the capitalization and the punctuation.
Yeah.
Meticulously crafted.
This ad catches my attention. Attention, Austin. Stop missing out on your dream home. It's like, whoa.
Heck, even the use of the emojis. Again, everything is done on purpose because just because you say, Facebook, put this ad in front of this group of people who are, I believe, who are interested in buying, selling real estate, the targeting is not sufficient. You must have good quality advertising or good quality offers to start with. And it's the biggest learning curve is, what the heck should I offer?
Right.
Because you have to go and you got to try several things and you got to find what's working for other people and make those your own. For example, in this particular advertisement, what wouldn't work is if I didn't have Austin-like homes. If I had we live in Austin, Texas. If I had a bunch of
like beachfront homes,
if I had beachfront homes, people would be like, it wouldn't resonate. It's
like, there ain't no
if
beach
I had
in
a
Austin?
bunch of homes, like I was talking to one of our clients in Phoenix yesterday, and like if I were to have that Phoenix Adobe style home, again, they don't have that stuff in Austin. People would be like, what the heck? I don't want to see a list of weird homes, desert style homes. I live in Austin. I want to see lush greenery and stuff like that. So anyway, again, all of this is in the details of the implementation of what you want to put in your advertisement. Okay. And so what that does, so those are the 5 campaigns, but I actually have 4. I want to give you guys 4 tips, right? Those are the 5 Facebook campaigns, but I want to give you guys 4 specific tips as you go to create your Facebook ads. And these tips, I've kind of mentioned them throughout today's training, but I want to make them crystal clear because if you adhere to these 4 tips, you're going to find that you get such better results. Now, the first thing that you want to do, the first of these 4 tips, is to make sure that you're working with the algorithm. The algorithm is using machine learning, right? And so what you have to do, the best way to work with the algorithm, because the same algorithm that determines what shows up in your news feed, in your personal profile, determines which advertisements go in there. So it's all connected. And so the more our advertisements can be like the things that people want to see in their feeds, you're going to be working with the algorithm and you get rewarded with lower cost advertising. That's why those videos, like those expert videos, are a perfect example of something that leverages the algorithm because it's what people want to see. And so when you do that, Facebook rewards you with better lower cost of advertising, which means you get it in front of more people. So always be working with the algorithm. And so these examples today all do that. We're giving people what they want. Ultimately, the algorithm is going to determine what people want at the individual level.
That's how smart Facebook is.
Exactly. At the individual level, it's going to determine what you want to see and it's going to feed it to you. So we got to make sure we're making quality advertisements. I know that might sound funny, quality advertisements, but it's in the images, it's in the copy, it's in the offers of what's being made. The next thing that we need to do is use custom audiences. That whole tool where I was showing you where we uploaded our database, where we were telling Facebook to be able to market to people who are visited our website or who have watched video, that's using the custom audience tool. And you have to use the custom audience tool if you're going to be successful in Facebook and start, even just implementing the campaigns. Another little takeaway, which was hidden today, I didn't really get into this, but is you want to design messages for different formats.
Okay, when you say different formats, like what are you talking about?
Right, so today in the examples I had, we showed some video. We showed video of real estate. We showed video of you sharing and me sharing our expertise and what we know. But we also had images, and we had all these different types of formats because each one of those, Facebook is going to display a little bit different. Right? Each one of those uses a different campaign objective type, right? And so we have to know, all right, this is a video. This is the campaign objective that I want to use. This is what I need to create a video that conforms to the format that's there, right? So there are the different formats, video, images, messages, right? All of these are different formats. And then always use the right format for the job at hand. So if I'm building an audience, use video, right? Using the video of real estate, that's the way that you build an audience. That's the right format for that particular job. If I'm doing individual follow-up, that messaging tool is the right tool for, right? So you want to make sure that you're choosing the right format for the job at hand. So What this will do in all 5 campaigns, what this does, we've effectively implemented this Facebook blueprint with these 5 campaigns. Now, here's the thing. If you want help, if you would like a little help implementing this Facebook blueprint, I've got a special offer for you guys. We have this Facebook Marketing for Real Estate online training program that we offer for normally $597, but I've got a special offer for you guys because this Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program is going to give you everything you need to use the Facebook ad platform. I mean, it covers everything from advertising templates, giving you checklists. Everything that I shared with you today is going to show you how to implement all of my Facebook blueprint, everything from just listed campaigns, open house campaigns, lead generation ads, messenger ads, video ads. We even get into how to use messenger bots to automate some of your online lead generation and qualification, and a whole lot more. I've taken everything that I've learned and currently use in our real estate practice, and I've put it into this program. I've even pulled in what successful campaigns that our members are using from our club and put it in here so that you guys can see this is what works in Facebook and what works right now. So you can get our Facebook online course for free when you join our marketing club. That's right. It's a $597 gift that I'm going to give you when you join our marketing club. Now, we created a marketing club to help you stand out and get recognized for your expertise using tools, technology, and marketing that I believe make real estate fun. We've had so many of our clients and members report back to us. Cynthia, for example, says, Paperless Agent is incredible. I've been a member since 2015. If you're new in real estate, save yourself money and time and go no further. Paperless Agent is the most valuable real estate and resources, hands down. Thank you, Cynthia. Lisa reports back to us, when I was a brand new agent in 2013, I discovered the Paperless Agent, and they are the best. I credit much of my 6-figure success to them, reaching 6 figures in that time. So thank you to Lisa. So our club is going to help you do this. It's going to help you get recognized as that expert agent. It's going to help you get clients on demand, right? So when you're that expert agent, getting recognized as that expert agent, you get clients on demand, right? You have consistent, predictable income. You have systems to replicate leads and save yourself time. You get recognized for your great service. And here's the thing, clients begin to place a premium on your expertise. In fact, this is what happened for Teresa. Teresa says, I wanted to say a huge thank you to the Paperless team. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, and Chris, and the whole team behind the scenes. We actually tripled our income. We sold over $9 million, all because we followed the plan. And I think, that really underscores the effectiveness of getting recognized as that expert agent.
Yeah, tripling your income, I think that would work.
Tripling your income. And here's the thing. She followed our plan. And what is our plan? Pretty simple. This is our 5-step career acceleration plan that we walk you through when you join our marketing club. So the first step is we're going to help you build a powerful online presence, right? So this is anytime somebody searches for you, anytime somebody is researching you, anytime a prospect has been referred to you, they go online and look you up. We got to make sure we have a powerful online presence so we don't inadvertently chase people away. Then what we need to do is start marketing to your base. Now, we're going to use Facebook a lot to market to your base. This is so you never lose a client. This is how you constantly expand on your base. This is the sphere of influence that you have. It's the people who know you. You may not know them yet, but it's the people who know you. And so we market to our base using tools like Facebook. We want to ace every listing opportunity. We want to really focus on a listing business, and that's what step 3 is in our career acceleration plan, is being able to ace every listing appointment and opportunity and focus on growing a listing business. The reason why we have you do that is because we want you to be able to get time back. And the way you get time back in your real estate practice is by focusing on listings so that the buyers are coming to you and you're not having to spend as much time driving around. Number 4 is we're going to give you, and we're going to help you work through this to scale and replicate leads on demand. When you have this, basically you've got systems in place where you're trading your time. Well, instead of using your time, you're using money, you're using resources, you're using tools to be able to replicate those leads on demand. One of the best tools out there is using like Facebook to scale and replicate leads on demand. It's a lot of what I've shared with you guys today. And then step 5 in this plan is to put your practice on autopilot. And this is where you're doing less, right? Less of the activity so that you can do more of what you want, whether that's, focus on growing your practice or maybe focus on taking some time off. Now, our membership gives you the following features to accomplish the plan that we just talked about here. So the first thing is Every month you get new training topics. We talk about how to get listings. We talk about how to do marketing. We talk about how to do social media. We talk about tools and productivity. We give you the updates on Facebook and all the other tools that you use. Every month, you're also going to get, when you're a member, you're going to get new marketing campaigns every single month from us. We're going to give you a blog post. We're going to give you marketing materials. We give you posts to share on social media, and we even give you marketing and advertising templates every single month. Included as well, so that you can implement a lot of the campaigns, is a Google-friendly website. It's a marketing website so that you always look good online. We automatically put blogs on it for you, so you don't have to worry about keeping it up to date. You can market listings through our property landing pages, and you can even use it for lead generation using our landing pages for lead generation. Now, if you already have a website, this is not meant to replace that. It's just going to make it easier for people to find you online and implement some of the campaigns that we shared with you today, for example. As a member, you're going to get access to tools and resources, hundreds of tutorials, instructional videos, implementation plans, and how-to guides. We've got a number of folks who have reported back to us the great successes they've had. Teresa came back to us and said, you guys have made me a rock star. I've been in the business since 1992 and never had a plan I could faithfully follow that works. Can never thank you enough.
I love Todd's here too. I've been an agent for 20 years and nothing else compares to what you guys provide. If an agent can't use your resource to make it happen for them, they need to go do something else.
So we love hearing those reports, because here's what we know. We've made this easy. We made this simple, this plan for you guys to follow to be successful using the set of tools and resources we've given you. To get all of these tools and resources, you would have to spend hundreds of dollars every single month on each one of these things, right? To get marketing materials, you would spend hundreds of dollars a month. To get a marketing website, again, hundreds of dollars a month. Templates and training, hundreds of dollars a month, right?
Yeah.
But getting recognized in your marketplace, you can't put a price on it. But here's the thing. You can join our club, get our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program for only $67 today, right? Just $67. You're not going to spend hundreds of dollars a month. You're going to spend just $67 with us today. You can easily cancel. It's a membership, so you can easily cancel, hassle-free, no questions asked. There's no contract. There's no commitment. It's month to month. We couldn't make it any easier. Now, when you sign up today, I've got an extra special bonus gift, and it's our Facebook on $1 a day implementation plan. It's going to help you boost your presence to build word of mouth and position yourself as an expert for just $1 a day. And so that's an additional bonus gift that I'm going to give when you sign up for our club. You're going to get our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, and you're going to get the Facebook on $1 a day implementation plan. So sign up right now before the day gets away for you, so you can get these and really get on your way to implementing that Facebook blueprint that I shared with you, and to start your career acceleration plan today.
Yeah. By the way, we've got a lot of current members in our club on this live broadcast. In fact, Esther just wrote, I've been a member since 2014. Hey, Esther, good to see you. It's been well worth it. I love it. Well, thank you, Esther. By the way, if you are a current member of our club, head on over to the chat section and let us know what your favorite feature is. I mean, Chris and I are always wanting to know, who keeps coming back to these public live training sessions, and what your favorite part of the club is. By the way, as you sign up and you click on that link, there is, over in the chat section, there's a blue button. It says Join Club Now. Also, at the top of your chat section, there's a link. It says thepaperlessagent.com/FB now. Aaron just said, I'm in. And Giovanna, yes, this is in US dollars. We're located in Austin, Texas. And to answer another question that comes in a lot, about 12 to 15% of our members are our friends to the north, are the Canadians. So yes, you are in good.
Tanya says she's been a member since 2014 and loved the monthly marketing materials and training. I love hearing. Here's what encourages me, Gary, is that when you become a member, it's valuable to stay a member, right? I mean, 5 years, so thank you, Tony, for being a member for 5 years.
Well, that reminds me, we just did a member training with Chip Barkell.
He's also been a member for 6 years.
He's been a member for 6 years. In fact, Chip Barkell joined 2 days after he got his license. He's from Toronto. So anyway, head on over to the chat section, click on that blue button that says Join Club Now. As soon as you click on that and you join for just $67, you will receive an email from us. And that will give you your login credentials to go to the member site, where you're going to be able to access your marketing club membership and the bonuses that you get today as well. And by the way, talk about some of the bonuses that our club offers, Chris. Man, this 5-step career acceleration plan that you went in depth with really focuses on a powerful online presence. And I can't think of anybody in our club who does it better than Mary.
Yeah, Mary Anglin. I mean, that's actually what put her on her path to being successful. Is she had started implementing a lot of the strategies that we share with everyone on how to build that powerful online presence, which include things like using social media. It includes things like having a good website or having good information on websites about you. It includes having just a good bio that people can refer to and having that consistent throughout the primary social media channels that you use. And once you've done that, and focus on getting some reviews out there as well. But once you've done that, and once she did that, when people would reach out to her, they'd say, I've already checked you out online. I know everything. I feel like I know everything about it.
But here's the thing. What's fascinating about real estate now, Chris, is even if we are referred business, do you know what happens? That the first thing that referral does?
What's that?
They Google me.
Yeah. In fact, Google did a study, and they found that almost all the time when someone is, before they reach out to work with us in real estate, they research us extensively online. Let me underscore the word extensively, which means people really go to Google and they're looking us up because they want to know. Heck, even if they worked with us in the past, like, what's Gary's contact information again, right? So,
well, I got contacted by a past client, and they said, "Hey, I'm actually thinking about selling. Can you come over and talk to me about what my home's worth?" By the way, I went online and Googled you, and I'm really impressed. And I said, "Mom, what are you doing that for?"
Mom, I watched all your videos, Gary. Mom.
So, but once you have that, Chris,
then you can start marketing to your base, and that's where the low hanging fruit is for so many of us out there. Is we don't realize what's truly necessary to market to our base, to build up that sphere of influence, to build up that word of mouth. That word of mouth marketing engine. And, that's where we start to market to our base. And Hillary Gaynor, right? Somebody that you know very closely, one of our members.
Hillary sells real estate on the East Coast. And, she had plateaued. She was selling about $3 million a year. And so she said, gosh, this is not working. And we said, you've got to start marketing to your base consistently with excellent content. And she said, well, where do I get this content? And I said, well, great news is
you have it in the club.
You get it. It's in that. You get it in the club. And so she started doing that consistently.
How much real estate was she selling when this started?
She was selling $3 million a year.
$3 million a year. So she was kind of having a down year.
She was having a down year. Within 6 months, Chris, she is now that she's been doing that consistently, she's selling $3 million a month.
Wow.
So all it took was for her to market consistently to her base. And once you master that, well, Chris, you're going to start getting a lot of listing appointments.
Yes, I mean, if you're doing it right,
which means what? You got to ace your listing appointment.
And it really allows you to focus on developing a listing business, but that means you have to make the right promises, right? John Diaz exemplifies this.
Yeah.
John Diaz out of California, he had reported to you, I can't remember the actual number.
But what he said is, you know what? I'm out. I think I'm going to quit real estate because every single listing appointment I go on, everybody asks this one question: will you discount your commission? And I'm sick and tired. He said, I bring more value than that. I am not a discount agent. And so what we said is, John, you got to ace your listing appointment. And so he really refined that. He did everything we told him to. And now, where he used to compete for listings, and they would always say, will you discount? Now he's demanding premiums. Now, in an area where most of his competition is offering listings for 5%, he's demanding 6, 7, heck, sometimes 9%. Wow.
And it's all because of his focus on it and the promise that he's making.
Yeah.
And so all of these things are what, as you start to scale and replicate leads on demand. And Christopher Dean is a good example of that, right?
Oh man, he's in Houston.
He's part of the Monica Foster team. They are the number 4 team in the Houston area. Last year they sold $92 million in real estate. The system that he's been using to scale and replicate leads on him, and he uses Facebook, but he also uses Google,
which, by the way, we train on.
Right, and so he did a member training where he shared everybody. Here's the Google ads that I'm doing. Here's what's working, and it's amazing to see that. Hey. you can trade your elbow grease for a little bit of tools, technology, and dollars, and really get to a place where it's scalable, right? That's where you don't get to $92 million a year in sales by just elbow
By
grease.
hustling.
You can't hustle and grind yourself to that. You've got to have tools, technology, and you've got to trade a few dollars for it. And that's what tools like Google and Facebook allow you to do. But then you're at a place where you can start putting things on autopilot, right? That's kind of like where Gary and I are at. We work in our real estate practice, but we have the time to be able to work with you guys and share what's working in our real estate practice because we've got so much of an autopilot. What we do is we've got people who help us in a lot of different areas. We've got tools, and we use money to be able to get some of that time back. And really, that's how we achieve, the benefits that our members get to experience when they start implementing this, right? Getting those clients on demand, getting consistent, predictable income, having those systems in place, and getting recognized. I think the biggest thing is when you get recognized for your great service, when clients place a premium on expertise, it feels different.
You know what happens, Chris?
What?
It shifts everything. It shifts the way you feel. It actually shifts the way you look to people.
Well,
because you got the confidence, you got your strut on.
Well, when people appreciate and value your expertise, and you don't feel like you're having to justify your fees, rationalize your fees, it feels different. It becomes enjoyable, right?
You know what it is? You're going from defense to offense.
Right, and that's where you can provide real service. That's when you can just focus on providing service. So, Gary, I want to be able to get into some Facebook Q&A here.
We've got a lot of questions here, Chris. I want to do a couple rapid fire questions. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to answer all the questions about membership that you have, and then we're going to deep dive into the Facebook. So Chris, I think maybe the most effective way, I'm going to ask you the question
and I'll
rapid fire
it.
Dave, let's see. Marvy says, I have a question before enrolling. I don't have a Facebook page. Do you teach me how to do it?
In that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, we show you how to do that.
Okay. Scott, and actually we have several mortgage brokers here today. Can these tools be used for mortgage marketing as well?
Yes, for mortgage, we've got people who are in mortgage, we've got people who are in title, we've got people who are in all walks of the real commercial real estate.
Yeah. We have North America
and
we have
Canada
and Canada.
So
Canada is in North America.
Yeah, well, but we have. So particularly, I wanted to say for the marketing campaigns that we provide everybody, we have Canadian versions whenever we kind of focus too much on U.S. stats. So we do have Canadian versions when it applies.
Another question we have is, what is the minimum months that I have to enroll?
It's month to month, so you can join today. You can cancel tomorrow if you wanted to. My hope is that you will stay as long as some of our members who've joined us today for several years. But it's month to month, so you can literally cancel at any time. No questions, hassle free. There's no commitment. There's no contract.
Yep. Scott says, I'm in. Thanks for the great webinar. Thank you, Scott. Looking forward to it. Next, Juan just said, I'm in. And Juan said, can I cancel anytime? And so once you answered that, Juan said, I'm in. Done. That's a no-brainer for $67. I mean, go check it out. Okay, so if you have more questions about the club, keep them coming. In the meantime, Chris, I'm going to get into Facebook.
All right, let's do it.
By the way, as we're answering these questions, if you have not joined yet, I want you to make sure that you take advantage of this special offer. Go over there, click on that link. In fact, I'm going to throw this link into the chat section so everybody has it as we get to Q&A, because I want to make sure that as we answer these questions that you're over there signing up as well. Let's see. Next question I have is Janet says, what is the custom audience tool?
So the custom audience tool is simply an area within Facebook ads. So Facebook ads has an administrative area, right? So it's called Facebook Ads Manager. Within there, there's a number of different secondary tools within Facebook Ads Manager. Facebook Ads Manager is where you create the ads. But there's so for example, there's a creative area where you can upload your creative and manage your creative. They've actually been adding to that creative area so you can start editing your creative in it. But there's a section called audiences, and that's where you're able to build the audiences that I talked about today, right? So if I want to create and use an audience in my advertising, I can go to that audiences tool, and that's where I'm going to create and upload my database, for example. I upload our database from our CRM directly in there so that I can use that in marketing. It's where I'm going to create an audience of people who viewed our videos, right? So people who viewed our videos. So I can put that in front of folks. It's where I would build an audience of people who visited our website. And so that's what that custom audience tool is. And there's a bunch of different tools that are in there, from custom audiences to images to like using the Facebook tracking in the pixel and all kinds of stuff. And we get into all of that within that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program on how to use those different tools.
All right. Glenn says, how do I retrieve the leads info entered in the lead ad so I can contact them? So like, where does that go? Not into ether.
Right. No, you have a couple of different options. One is you can just go to Facebook and download it. Right. So there's an option to do that.
So that's the low tech way.
Right. But then you can also use tools like Zapier, if you guys are familiar with Zapier, to where you can have it automatically go into the CRM that you're using. So the way I have it working right now is when we get a Facebook lead ad, it goes and it zaps, goes to Zapier, and then Zapier puts it into our CRM. We use a tool called RealVolve. It also for us, we also use this tool called ManyChat, which allows us to use messenger bots to be able to nurture the leads that come in. But so I just use Zapier to connect it to wherever I want it to go and create a little workflow around it. And I think that's really important is whenever you're generating opportunities on Facebook, there's two things that you have to do really well. And it's not just Facebook. I'll be honest with you. It's not just Facebook. Any form of online lead generation really requires these two big steps to happen. So whether you're doing it through Facebook, whether you're doing it with Google, whether you're using one of the buying leads from the popular home search sites, this is what has to happen. First is you got to quickly scrub through the list and do immediate follow-up and contact as much as you possibly can. Because you got to be, and why do you do that? Because there is, one out of whatever, it's going to vary based on the market and how many leads you're generating, how much money you're spending. But there are going to be people who want to talk with you right now. And so you got to respond to those. So you have to be able to be quick on the response. The other thing you have to do really well is be good at nurturing. Now, the blueprint that I shared with you, in large part, does a lot of the nurturing, but when someone actually gives you their contact information, you got to go a step further within the nurturing process. And so what I do is I got two ways in which I nurture. One is through Facebook Messenger, right? So we have a bot that automatically nurtures the leads. And then the other thing and by the way, within the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate, there's a Facebook Messenger bot training in how to do that.
Yeah.
Using ManyChat. But the other thing I do is I send them emails, right? So within our CRM, they go in there and they receive a series of emails, right? So now that's the nurturing process. And then what we also do is from time to time, we do some individual follow-up. We see them engaging, we see them being nurtured. So we go in there and we just hit them up. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Is there anything I can provide you with? Hey, would you like a list of homes? Hey, would you like this? And that's where, that process, you can't just, what I have found through any lead source really is that you can't just generate it and forget it. Like you have to cultivate it. I think that what I've observed really over the last probably 10 years, I'm sure you've seen this over the 20 years, Gary, is that the lifetime of a lead is getting longer, right?
Yeah, so what Chris is talking about is that as people inquire about real estate, they're doing it much earlier in the process, which means that, gosh, you know what used to happen, Chris, is I would get a call from somebody and they'd say, hey, I was referred to you by Chris Scott. My wife and I are in town and we'd like to go look at homes this weekend.
Right. That was before the data was on the internet.
Exactly. Now that the data is on the internet, I may get a lead online and start engaging with them. And then they're like, yeah, we're looking at relocating in 18 months.
So it's really important that you do both of those things. Find the ones who are ready to act now, nurture the ones who are not. And that's how you start to recoup the cost of your advertising is with those nurturing tools. I was actually talking with one of our members over the weekend, Christopher Dean, and he was telling me how he was a big advocate in some of the home search sites for his own real estate practice, for his own team, and he was telling me, hey, starting August 1st, I'm dialing back that home search site budget because what I'm seeing is a decreased effectiveness, right? They're not as good, so I'm taking that budget and I'm putting that into Google and I'm putting that into Facebook because that's where I'm getting a better return.
Yeah, his cost per lead is less in these other places. So Can I ask a follow-up question here?
Yeah, I think the original question was, what do you do with a lead? But
Yeah. But so this is what happens is that during our live training for our club members, we have Q&A as well. And this is what happens is we'll get questions and we start going down a path, and all of a sudden we're talking about something completely different that is completely relevant. Tina says, as a follow-up, will your training show us how to do the Zapier and message bot to do what you're talking about?
So I don't have the Zapier training. I do have the Messenger bot training.
But Zapier, actually, if you go to Zapier, they have extensive training on how to use that.
I've actually been toying around with doing some supplemental training around Zapier because I don't think I want to do it for member training. I think I might just do it as a supplemental. A lot of people want to know how to use that tool to connect. But we do in there have the Messenger bot stuff, which uses a tool called ManyChat. ManyChat's very low cost. It's like $10 or $15 a month or something like that, and allows you to create sequences of Facebook Messenger messages and just put that in front of the people that you've been working with to generate leads. So it's a very effective tool.
All right. Chris Landy said, I joined the club. Will you show us how to set up Facebook properly, and will you teach us how to do the ad? I'm tired of paying for coaching, some other coaching people, showing me how to do their Facebook ad on their own page, and in the end, I don't know how to do it for real estate.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I'm using our real estate practice as the example so that you guys know what type, what do you need to put together. Now, I will share with you. You can copy and paste everything that I've done, and it might take a little bit more to get the same type of result. For example, I'm in Austin and you're not in Austin. We're working a specific price point. You might be working a different price point. And so all of these things, those are the nuances of the message. But here's the thing, by seeing a real estate practice and how we implement it in Facebook is going to help you tremendously, because I experience the same frustration. Unfortunately, there's no one else out there who's taking those tactics that people are sharing with you and then putting it in place in real estate, making sure it works, and then showing you guys how it works. And I think that's where we add value as part of, it's where our responsibility to our members is to share good information, good tactics, show you what works, and show you what works in a real estate practice or in the real estate industry. You guys aren't car dealer. You guys don't run car dealerships, so you don't need to know how to generate leads for cars. You need to generate leads for buying and selling homes, and I understand that. And that's what we do. Is we either are going to show you something that we're doing actively in our own real estate practice, or we're going to feature other experts, usually who are in our club, who are doing it. So you get to learn from other club members. I'll sit them down. We'll have a conversation. I've done this recently for our Facebook Messenger bots to be able to share with you. The person who's helping me do Facebook Messenger bots, he helped me do a training just the other week on how to do it. Chip Barkell's talking about listings. We've had Christopher Dean talk about doing Google ads. We've had Mary Anglin talk about doing video and how to do online video. And so we've had so many of our members who've had success that we feature. In fact, you guys have direct access to them through our private Facebook group. When you guys join, you'll be able to get into the private Facebook group. You'll be able to share your successes. You'll be able to ask questions. In fact, it's where I go to get inspiration, because I know I can only do so much, and I need to use the power of the collective community to get the inspiration, ideas, and accountability to do what we need to do in our real estate practice.
And by the way, when you join today, you get access to those trainings that Chris was talking about. So you'll be able to go in there and watch those trainings, and you're going to get all of that value. Pamela says, is the monthly fee for this month prorated? So here's the way it works, is that when you sign up today, it's on a 30-day cycle. Yeah. So next month, you'll get another $6, $7 bill. So you're paying for the next 30 days. It's just the easiest way for us to do that. Okay, next question. I was so enthralled by what you were saying, and I had no idea where you were going with that. I was like, this is going to be good.
I'm good at confusing you, Gary.
All right. Ronald says, what about Google? Somebody else said, what about Instagram? Are you using that as well, and do you train on it?
Yeah, so Instagram. I actually had the Instagram expert, Sue Zimmerman, give a private training.
How many followers does she have?
I don't know. Lots.
Like hundreds of thousands.
She's got a lot. I mean, here's the thing. The social media tools that we use are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I guess Google, like YouTube. right? So technically YouTube is a social media channel. Those are the 4 that we use pretty extensively. We've also provided training on Pinterest. I'm not as big on Pinterest, but like we have a lot of clients who are, so we've done some training on Pinterest. So that would be sort of the 5th one if I were going to recommend or encourage. We provide all of our members marketing materials every single month. We provide it in Facebook form. So we give you social media posts, and so we give it to you in Facebook format, Instagram format, LinkedIn format, Pinterest format, and you could take, if you make videos, you can put them on YouTube. So those are the ones that I would recommend. And, I do encourage the use of Instagram because it's owned by Facebook, and everything that I've shared with you today, use it. Like, so all of the ads that you are running, if you use my formula for the Facebook ad blueprint and you select Instagram as a placement option, your ads will show up in Instagram, right? And you won't have to pay more money. It'll just like use Instagram as one of the places that it'll show your ads. And that's why I love Facebook. The Facebook, Instagram sort of 2 powerhouses. I can get all of that done with just using Facebook ads.
And you show them how to do that in that Facebook
in
marketing.
Facebook marketing, really, we show you where the check. I mean, it really is just a checkbox of, I want my ads to show up here as well.
Yeah.
And so Facebook has a number of different places, a number of different potential placements. You can have it show up in Facebook stories. You can have it show up in Instagram. You can have it show up in Instagram stories. You can have it show up in the news feed, the mobile news feed on the right column. There's all these different placements. The way I do it is I just do automatic placements because I try to make things simple for myself.
Well, it's not just that. You're also trusting that Facebook is going to place it where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Facebook has a feature called automatic placement. So it'll just say, oh, this person is good for you, and they happen to be on Instagram right now. We're going to show you the ad. And that's the power of the algorithm, by the way, is that it removes the need to try and get your timing perfect. It removes the need for you to get your audience selection perfect. And it really just places the emphasis on the quality of the advertising to start with. And when I say that, people might not quite get what I mean by quality advertising, but good advertising is takes the right person, gives them the right message at the right time. And when you conform to that format, that's like the fundamental marketing rule, right? When those 3 things, the right person, right message, right time, are incorporated into your marketing campaign or incorporated into your marketing activities, you get good results. And so just like, for example, if you drank 2 cups of coffee and then went driving down the highway for about an hour and a half, that billboard that says nice clean restrooms, pull off on this exit right now.
Highly relevant.
Right person, right? 2-cup coffee drinker 90 minutes ago, right message, clean bathrooms off at this exit, right
at the
time.
right time.
So, that particular advertisement provided a tremendous amount of value. And to be honest with you, that's the way we want it to be in real estate, right? We want our advertising, our messages, our marketing to create value for the recipient. That's what Facebook wants us to do as well. So when you take that right person, right message, right time formula, and the 5 campaigns that I did that for you, that's when you start to see good results. And when you do that, and not only do you get rewarded with lower cost of advertising, increased results, that's how you get more clients. It's how you build a brand. It's how you build a reputation. It's by conforming to that role.
Awesome. Okay, we've got a few more questions, actually a lot. Rita Mesquita said, I just joined the club. I'm ready to go. This is very exciting. We are excited for you. By the way, if you want to...
I love that name. It rhymes.
Rita Mesquita. If you want to be like Rita...
Unless Gary was saying it incorrectly. Sorry.
Well, it's either Mesquita or Mesquita. So if you want to be like Rita, what you need to do is go click on the join. How about Join Club Now button, that blue button over in the chat section. I just put it at the top of the chat. It says, don't delay, get her done today. So go click on that button. And what's going to happen is when you join today for just $67, you're getting access to the monthly membership. You're getting access to Chris's Facebook marketing for real estate. And as a special bonus, when you sign up right now, you're getting his Facebook on $1 a day implementation plan. And so we want you to go do that right now while we get to the next question. Richie Jones says, how can I get the messenger bot training?
Yeah, that's included. That's actually a bonus within the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. When you log in, you'll see that there is a Facebook Messenger bot bonus section there. And there are 3 specific trainings within there for you to implement that. Bill asks, what is an off-market home? For us, the way we are defining that is we're part of this network called the Austin Luxury Network, and it's homes that are over $1 million that are not listed in the MLS. And so we're a member of that. And so what we could do is we could take those listings and market those. But just happens, there's lots of different versions of off-market listings, by the way, that you can do. You could, like, what are some options? I guess you could market, you could offer people.
Well, so here's a really important offer. Is if you're working in a specific area and it's rare that homes come on the market for less than a certain price point,
Right.
You can say, hey, if you want homes in this area for under this price point, that's one. Another one is if you're working with investors, give them a top 10 list. So here's my top 10 best investments in the Austin Metroplex right now.
Right.
Go click here.
What about, could they use like expires or withdrawns?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use expires or withdrawn homes and say, hey, if you want access to homes that are not available on the market right now, you got to reach out to me, and then you can build a list of like the most exciting expired or withdrawn homes and use that.
Ronald asks, what about Google? Are you guys just using Facebook?
I already asked you that question.
Oh, no, I use Google and Facebook.
And YouTube.
And YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube.
Yeah.
Which uses Google, by the way. It's owned by Google.
Oh, Ashley said, how do I select the people who watch my videos for the next set of ads? So basically it's building that audience.
Right. So
how do I find that?
So that's that custom audiences tool that I was talking about. When you go into Facebook Ads Manager, there's going to be a little icon on the top left-hand corner that's going to open up all the additional tools. Select the custom audience or the audiences one. Within there, you're going to see a button to be able to create new custom audience. And that's where you would create that. It's in the training, so there's actual tutorial videos on how to do that in the Facebook marketing for real estate. I wish I could do a live screen share, but and every time I try to do it, the screen's so blurry and no one can see anything, and everybody complains. So just go into it. That's how I can describe it best, is go into Ads Manager. But what you're going to do is create the audience. You're going to use the engagement. So there's different types of audiences to create. You can create a customer file one. You can create a website audience. You're going to drop down to where it says engagement, click on engagement, and then from there you can select video views as the engagement type. You can also choose people who engage with your Facebook page and a host of other options.
Awesome. So one question we had earlier in the session, Jennifer and Janet and several others said, so basically how far apart should each ad be sent to these individuals? Is there a timeline that I should use?
No. I just have them always running all the time.
Okay. So how often do you update that audience then?
It's automatic.
It's automatically
updated? Automatically being updated. The only time I have to update it is as I add new videos. I just need to go into that custom audience and add that video to that audience, and it'll continue to accumulate those video views. And so here's what I do is when I make the initial video, I try to not have the just listed, price reduced. I just have I feature the listing. I feature the real estate. Unless it was recently sold, then I do leave it as that status. But that means it's perpetually building traffic. I can just let that ad run for $1 a day, and you can see that I got a bunch of them. So now it's probably a total. My audience building cost is probably $10 to $15 a day because I found it to be working, and I've got all those listings. And I top grade. Some listings just show better than others. Some listings are better at building that audience than others. So I turn the ones off that are not working, and I leave the ones on that are working, so that I'm always building that audience, always keeping it fresh, always keeping new viewers in that audience. And then I just leave it go. And then I've got those additional campaigns that I have running. Some of them I will just set it and forget it and leave it run, and I'll check in every now and then to see how it's doing. If it's doing well, performing better than the others, I leave it running. If it's underperforming how some of the other campaigns have done, I turn it off. The expert videos, same thing, right? We'll probably put a new one in there. My goal is to have a new expert video in there at least once a month. And if it's working well, I just leave it run. If I put a new one in there and it's not doing so well, I just turn it off. But it's sort of it becomes this audience building / lead generation ecosystem that, as you build it, you don't have to, the maintenance mode is far easier because you're just going in there, adding some new stuff from time to time, turning stuff off that's not working, leaving stuff on that is working. This is checking in on it.
That's awesome.
And here's what I found is that once you start doing this, you can literally manage this. You can literally run this on hours a month, right?
Hours a month.
Hours a month. And that's because that's how you scale and replicate leads. You don't have to deal with this every single day or every single week. You're putting in content and you're creating ads maybe once a month, as you can do it. And then you're just like turning the ones off that are not working and leaving the ones on that are working. You probably want to do some innovation on the types of offers that you make. For example, you're going to watch one of the live trainings. You're going to go through the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate and you're going to be like, oh, that's a good idea. Or maybe you go to the private Facebook group and someone shows you an ad example and you're like, oh, that was really good. Happens to me all the time. Someone will be in there like, hey, check out this ad. And I'm like, that's a dang good idea. I'm going to go do that. So you'll do that from time to time. But, by and large, that's how you start to scale and replicate leads, is because you don't have to deal with it all the time. And because of the blueprint that we've created, or that I should say we kind of discovered. It's not like I built it. It's just I discovered what was working. And then I put that into my blueprint, is that very quickly people are going to come to you, right? If you're implementing the first handful of campaigns before you even do the lead gen stuff, people are going to start coming out of the woodwork to say, Gary, I see you all the time. I've been meaning to talk to you. Hey, Jonathan, who's Gary's brother, who's on our team. Jonathan, I've been meaning to talk to you. I see your stuff all the time. And that's, like when it gets to that point, good stuff is happening, because your online reputation at that point, it's increasing, so that when people think of real estate, they inevitably, you come to mind. They think real estate, so they have a conversation with somebody and they're like, we're thinking of moving. Bang, you enter in their head. Like they can't even control it, because they're seeing your marketing, they're seeing your videos, they're seeing you on Facebook.
This is what he calls omnipresent marketing. It's where people can't turn around without bumping into some message that you're providing.
And that's, when you look at how to build like a word of mouth and word of click business, like an engine of people who are walking, talking advocates for you, it's that they already know you, they already trust you, and they're constantly reminded of your competence.
Yes.
So that whenever they have a conversation with somebody about real estate, like, hey, neighbor comes over and they're like, we're thinking of moving. So they talk to somebody, they say, we're thinking of moving. You will instantly pop in their head. Your competence will pop in their head, and they say, you know what? If you need somebody to work with, you need to talk to Gary. In fact, I actually had an opportunity just last night, not to refer our members, right? So I was having dinner with some friends last night, and one of them was telling me that his sister was moving from Alexandria to Nashville. And the first thing I popped in my head was all of you guys. And I was like, hey, if you check with her and see if she needs somebody that she can trust if she's moving, because I know people, I can find our members in either one of those places who will be able to help her, right? And because I'm always thinking real estate. That's how a referral happens, right?
And what we need to do is we need everybody else out
doing
there
that for us.
Doing that for us.
And you got to prompt them by constantly reminding them of your competence in the marketplace. Yep. I'm reminded of your guys' competence because I'm always in the private Facebook group. And when I go, a lot of you have added to me to your campaign. So I'm always seeing you guys everywhere, which is encouraging because it gives me ideas on what to do. But it also gives me a constant reminder whenever someone talks about like an out-of-state move, I'm like, hey, you got to let me know because I know I've got people for you.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. I wanted to address this real quick, Chris, because this just happened. Bill said that the offer just ended online. Did it just expire? It did not. So what I did is I took it down and I just added it back there for you, Bill. So if you're like Bill and you have not yet signed up, go over, click on the Join Club Now button. I just relaunched it there for you, so you can click on that. It is that blue button over in the chat section. And by the way, if you have signed up today, or if you're already a member of the club, number one, thank you so much. And number two, go to the chat section and say, I'm in. We just want to know.
Or if you've been a member, I'd love to hear, tell us what your favorite feature of the club has been for you. Yep. I'm always looking for ways to innovate on what we're doing. I'm always looking for ways to innovate on either the tools or the training that we provide, because I want to make sure that we're equipping you guys to be successful. I know I'm always working, Gary and I are always working on our own real estate practice. And I've got like a never-ending list of things that we can do, but I want to make sure we're serving you guys by getting feedback from you. So anyway, go to the chat section, let me know. And with that, we'll get on to the next question. Do we have any more Facebook-related
James said,
stuff?
what is the app you use to create the carousel ad?
That is within Facebook ads, right?
And he teaches you all about that.
It's just it's an ad. So when you go into Facebook, the first thing you're going to do when you go to Ads Manager is you're going to create a campaign. You need to select your campaign objective, right? Video views, website traffic, right? Messenger campaign, Facebook lead ads campaign. There's all these different objectives. And from there, you're going to create the ad set, which is where you specify the budget. It's also where you specify who's going to see the advertisement, right? So whether you're going to use those custom audiences that we had talked about, or if you're in the initial audience building phase, you're going to put in there who you're initially going to put in there to build the audience from, which we get into. And then from there, you're going to create the actual ad or multiple ads that go into that ad set. That's where the ad set, again, determines the budget and who's going to see the ad. Then you create the ads within that ad set. And from there, that's where you would say, oh, I want to use a single image ad or a multi-image ad or a video ad or a multi-video ad or whatever type. All these different creative types are in there. And so what I suggest is the carousel. Was it the carousel ad type, right? Yeah, That's the tool. It's all in Facebook ads. So there's no cost to use it. That's great.
So Paul and several others had this question, Chris. What days and time of the day is it best to schedule your ads?
It doesn't matter.
Because Facebook is going to figure that out for you.
Well, here's the exception. If you're using, let's say you're not using things like a Facebook Messenger bot to be able to automatically respond. And, or here's another one. Let's say your call to action is like to call me or something like that. And you know you're not going to be able to receive phone calls during that time, then maybe not. But in all of our examples, Facebook's going to determine the best time. So in the old way of using Facebook, we used to, here's the thing, like, several years ago, you would like post on Facebook. This is without using the advertising platform, but hoping to just post stuff on Facebook and hope to get organic reach, where people just see it. And so in the old days of Facebook, you would say, all right, I know that on Wednesdays at 12 is when most people are going to see my post, so that's when I'm going to do it. Or I know that 7 o'clock in the morning. Here's the thing, when you're using the advertising platform, whenever they're there is the right time. So you don't actually need to work on that. Here's the thing, with the algorithm, the timing has become, time is still relevant, but like a specific time is not. So the way the algorithm determines relevance is this post still relevant, not what time was it posted. Same thing with your ads. Unless you have an offer that requires you to like respond real time, then it doesn't matter. But let's say you need to, like, if you're going to have a call, like Google has this. Google has where you can click to call as a call to action, right? You don't want them calling at 11 o'clock at night if you're not going to answer the phone. I mean, maybe you are.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we are realtors.
So, if you got insomnia, then leave it running and then like maybe get a few phone calls.
By the way, talk about somebody who is working it.
Right.
So I just flew back into Austin last night, and my Uber driver, the license plate said, I'm a Texas realtor. I was like, you're either starving or this is a brilliant lead gen traffic.
Actually, you know what? One of the agents that we used to work with, Scott, he used to do that as well. He would pick people up, and that was the route. Those were the jobs that the rides that he accepted were airport rides.
Because they're coming in to visit, right?
People coming or leaving the airport. And so he would work those, and I mean, I don't know how many deals he got.
We do not advocate that you do that. We want you to focus 100%. All right.
No, yeah.
All right. Pamela said, "Can I still get my Facebook leads from older ads if the campaign is no longer running? So if they engaged in older ads that are no longer running, can she still target them in future ads?"
It depends. So yes and no.
That sounds like a long answer.
It's circumstantial. It's based on what you had set up. So what I would suggest is go through the training, and then if you have a question about that particular issue, email our support team to see if they can point you in the right direction.
All right. Okay, next question we have. EJ said, on Facebook lead ads, does Facebook require you to submit some sort of privacy policy?
Facebook lead ads. Yes, you need to have a privacy policy. So on your website, you need to have a page on your website that has some privacy policy.
Almost every website is going to have that.
And then when you're creating that lead ad, you will actually put the URL to that privacy policy in there. Most websites have it. If you don't have it, there's lots of free privacy terms and conditions templates that are out there that you can literally copy and paste. I actually covered that in a training at some point in time. But all you get, just Google privacy policy website. you can get a template, and then you just create a page on your website for that. And you plug that URL in. Another thing to note is if you're a real estate advertiser, which all of you are going to be real estate advertisers, you may have a few additional things that you have to affirm to, saying that you're not going to discriminate in your real estate advertising. And they've been really aggressive and assertive, I should say, in trying to make sure that people comply with not only the privacy
Which is
stuff,
good stuff. That's the code of ethics,
right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure we don't discriminate. And so they're all going to have you, like the first time you run a Facebook ad, it may get temporarily declined until you go in and say, because the first time you run a real estate ad, it's going to say, oh, don't run this ad because it looks like it's a real estate ad and you need to approve these terms and promise you won't discriminate. And so that might happen for you when the first time you need to go to do it. But after you do it once and you say, yes, I'm a real estate advertiser. Yes, I'm not going to discriminate. Yes, I'm going to, I'm going to conform to the regulations, and then it'll run your ads.
I love this question because Evelyn is calling us out. Evelyn said, yeah, this is great, but have you actually received any phone calls from those people who watched your videos? Yes. And in fact, most recently, we received an inquiry from somebody who was moving to town. They're moving to town, and then their son is going to be moving to town as well. And so they contacted us, and what they did is they saw our Facebook ads, then they went and Googled us, and then they contacted us through our website, and they said, hey, we're moving. We need to talk to Jonathan or Gary. And so we called them back, and guess what? They're moving to town. And because of the competence that we shared with them and the valuable content that we shared with them and the trust that we built, they hired us. And they're moving here. They are buying a $2 million house. Their son is buying about a $1 million house. So that's $3 million in production that we got off of one ad. So does it work?
And one of the things I want to highlight there is having the right expectation for any tool that you choose to use. I don't care if it's Facebook. I don't care if it's Google. I don't care if it's email. I don't care if it's a telephone and picking the phone up. It could be the yellow pages. But it is important to have realistic expectations of what these tools can do and in the time frame that they can accomplish them. Now, I, like you guys, my preference is that we do nothing and the phone just rings. That's actually what I would like, is we don't do anything and the phone rings, because that would be awesome.
That's the way it used to work 20 years ago.
Yeah, before data was on the internet, right? Before the data was on the internet. Like that.
And my telephone used to actually be permanently attached to the wall.
Exactly. It was the good old days, right? So the good old days.
Remember the rotary?
So, but what's important is that we don't place unrealistic expectations on time and like the result that it's going to get, because once we do that, we're never going to be happy. We're never going to be happy. In fact, if you really push that, you wouldn't even bother spending the money to put a sign in the yard of a listing that you have, if you were to really get into it. Because how many people actually called because of the sign in the yard? None. Well, should we stop doing it?
Does that mean it doesn't work? No. There's branding behind it. I think that's one of the biggest fallacies of real estate marketing that I think we're taught by shiny penny companies, is like, well, if you did this and didn't work, you should just stop it. It's like, no. Just because you didn't instantly get a lead from it doesn't mean it's not working.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of companies that would rather have their brand in front of the consumer than to have our brand in front of the consumer. And so
I can name several.
That's happened, right? Because of the false assumption that we don't need to do that kind of activity. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to, the digital market. Here's the great thing about some tools like Facebook, or really any form of real estate digital marketing, is that the types of marketing that were formerly only available to big brands with big budgets, it's now available to you and me, because digital marketing allows us to spend pennies to the dollar, because we're just putting our messages in front of the people who really care to see them. And because it's in a digital format, we don't have to spend tons and tons of money. I mean, the examples that I gave you today start with as little as $1 a day. You scale up from there. But what was only, in the old days, actually back in the day when people had to call us, we couldn't even compete against, the level of marketing a lot of these firms were able to do. And by the way, when people used to call us, that was actually back in the time when the real estate brokers had a lot more control over what was going on.
That's why
as well.
Floor time was very, very valuable.
Floor time was very, very valuable. Remember, was it Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, when they had the little cards and leads? Like, these days it's
coffee is only for closers. Coffee is for
ABC. Oh, B, close it. But I digress. I forget what we were talking
That's
about.
okay. I got another great question here. So Deborah and about 50 other people had this first question.
Yes.
Okay, how do you choose the initial audience for the very first video? Because we're not marketing to everyone, we're marketing to some people. Do you talk about that in Facebook marketing for real estate?
And actually that one's been changing. In fact, I am right now working on an update to that based on what I'm finding is working right now. So, and it's been changing. There's a couple of things that have, and you guys need to be aware of this. And I addressed this in a recent member training, and I'm going to address it again in an upcoming one, maybe even the very next one. But here's the thing. The rules for us in real estate are changing pretty quickly.
Yep.
Right. So that you guys might, if you Google HUD and Facebook, you're going to see there's all this stuff about, Facebook allowing discrimination.
It's noise. Let us figure it out.
There's all this noise about Facebook allowing people to discriminate in their advertising. Now, there's some truth to it, too. So, by the way, the post office allows you to discriminate because it allows you to place every door direct mail to specific routes and specific zip codes. So technically, the post office allows you to discriminate. And that's essentially what's going on. But the difference between the post office and Facebook is Facebook's got a lot of money to go after. And so here's what's taking place is that Facebook is limiting some of the targeting features within their ad platform to people who are real estate advertisers, meaning I think you can technically do it now, but you're not supposed to. But you're no longer going to be allowed to market. You're not going to be able to choose age, gender, or specific zip codes. You have to do like city-based or area-based marketing. Now, what I'm going to share with you is what I shared with folks when those changes were first announced, which is those targeting features never mattered in the first place. And here's why. The algorithm was not going to show a home for sale to someone who was 13 years old who was not in the market to buy. It just wasn't going to happen. The algorithm, like I said, is using preference-based marketing. So what we're using is content to identify the audience. With that said, I will share with you broadly the current targeting that I'm using, and you'll have to do a slight modification for what you're doing. Now, first off, I had gotten away from just zip code marketing, and I've been doing Austin area marketing because I don't know where they're traveling about in Austin, right? And so I have been doing just Austin areas, not just one zip code, but multiple zip codes. So that eliminated that. The whole age thing, once you start retargeting, it doesn't even matter. Like when you do that initial audience, I'll share with you some of my best performing ones are one of the home search sites. I won't say any names, but maybe it's Rhymes with Pillow.
It could be the #1 search site.
So you can actually say to Facebook, place my videos in front of people who've been watching videos and looking at stuff on the internet that are like
Pillow,
or Rhymes with Pillow. Zillow, right? So you can choose the popular home search sites and say anyone who's been visiting websites like that or visiting pages like that, put my ad in front of. The other thing you can do, like for us, we've been in luxury market, right? So we can focus on the luxury, like people who have luxury related interests, everything from luxury real estate to actually like travel, right? Luxury cars, those things that might distinguish somebody as being a luxury buyer, we also zero in on. But the amazing thing is, and this is where Facebook's getting to. The Facebook is moving towards a place, and it's not quite there yet, right? I'll be honest, it's not quite there yet, but it's moving to a place where targeting doesn't matter. It's actually going to go, it's like the technology is going to get to a point where it's what it was like 100 years ago, where everybody advertised in the newspaper because everybody was reading the newspaper. And so how did you find your audience in the newspaper? You did it through the creative,
the message.
You did it through the message. Now, Facebook's got a huge advance or advantage to it is not only will you rely on message, but then it starts to look at individual user preference for that type of message and put it in front of them. But right now, what I'm using is things like a Zillow interest, real estate related interests on top of being in the Austin area. And then I'm really focusing on the content. That's why, by the way, real estate is my initial audience building stuff that I have, because I want to make sure that they've got real estate on the brain. I want to make sure that they've been looking at other real estate related content out there on the internet, and that's who Facebook's going to put that information in front of. And so that's how I build that initial audience. And then after that, none of those targeting things matter at that point.
Because then you start retargeting.
You're retargeting, and again, it's all preference based. I did a whole, actually, when you go into Facebook marketing for real estate, the first section talks about how the algorithm works. And this is important for you guys. You want to understand how the algorithm works so that as you create content for your ads, for what you post on Facebook, what did I say that one of the rules were? Work with the algorithm. So when you
I thought it was always be closing.
Oh, that too, but work with the algorithm, and understanding how that algorithm works is important. I've got a whole section in our Facebook marketing for real estate in module 1 that shows you how that algorithm works, examples of how you make it work. But the quick hack to it is do a lot of video.
Mm-hmm.
One of the quick hacks is that video is effective. Someone was asking, actually, talking about video, someone was asking if you do a Facebook Live, does it always reverse?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And I think the answer is yes, on a Facebook Live it is, but if you do a pre-record video, no, it's not. Don't even know why that is. It's like,
it's a weird thing.
Magic.
All right, next question. Mary said, how long does it, so Mary joined and said, how long does it take for me to get my welcome email? It should be instant. By the way, Mary, if you don't see it in your inbox, go check out your spam folder. Sometimes our emails will end up in your spam. Mm-hmm. And if you're using Gmail and it didn't end up in your spam folder, go to your promotions tab. It's probably hanging out there. And if you search and search and search, and you're like, guys, I can't find this, all you need to do is email our team support at thepaperlessagent.com, and we will make sure that you get in. And if you want to be like Mary and Tina said, I joined, thank you. If you want to be like them and join our club today, here's what you're getting. You're getting access to our marketing club membership. That's $67. You're getting our Facebook marketing for real estate that Chris has created that really shows you step by step exactly everything. Those 5 campaigns that Chris shared with you today, it's in there. And you're getting that as a gift today. In addition to that, you're getting Chris's Facebook on $1 a day implementation plan. You're getting all of that when you sign up right now. So here's what we got to do. We've been here for 1 hour and 53 minutes. We're going to leave this link up for you for a little bit longer so you can just ponder it for another 15 seconds. But go click on that Join Club Now button. It's that blue button over there. Click on that. Well, I also put that link in the chat section, so you can't miss it. Go click on that link and join us if you haven't done so already. And we cannot wait to see you in our club, and we can't wait to see you in our private Facebook group as well.
Yeah, do us a favor. Get into that private Facebook group. Give a shout out. Let everybody know who you are, where you do business at. Let them know what your number one challenge is that you're looking to try and solve. And we're looking. I love being able to see and hear the reports back from our members when they go do something. I tried to share a few of them with you guys today. But when you go and do something, I love being able to get that feedback of I tried this and here's what happened and here's how awesome this is. And here's how it worked and here's what I learned and here's what I discovered, because it's your discoveries that you fuel everybody else being able to up our games as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys on future member training. I look forward to seeing you in our private Facebook group. We look forward to seeing you online. Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.